Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the pregame show where we discuss the Avalanche versus the Toronto Maple Leafs game that is happening in Toronto this Wednesday. As I'm filming this is Monday the 29th, but the game will take place on Wednesday, December 1st between the Colorado Avalanche and the Toronto Maple Leafs. So let's get into this, and as always, I want to remind you that Jesus is King. I just pray that you give your life to Him. He's got a plan and a purpose for you. It makes you so much more fulfilled and happier and gives you a sense of purpose in my experience. And it's the best thing I've ever done, and I just highly suggest that you do it too and accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior and that He died on the cross for your sins. And if you believe that with your whole heart, you'll go to heaven and spend eternity with God and Jesus. And I really hope that you do. I pray that everyone does and we can make heaven super populated. And that's my message. And with that being said, let's jump in to the Avalanche preview. So, starting off with the injuries, there's Pavel Francouz, who is, I believe, he's skating again, and he could get some playing time in the 5-game road trip that we have coming up. But we'll see. There's Martin Kaut, who's on IR. Nathan MacKinnon, who is expected to play against Toronto. And then there's JT Compher, who is out. So I'd expect MacKinnon to play on Wednesday and then Pavel Francouz to play soon. Martin Kaut, I don't know when he's going to return. I believe JT Compher may be skating again in a non-contact sweater, but we'll have to see because right now I don't know. I think JT Compher's still a little bit out, but I expect MacKinnon to play and possibly a game. Francouz to start here soon. Post recording, Parker here. I literally just finished the recording, and I checked my phone to see that Martin Kaut has just been activated off of injured reserve and has been reassigned down to the Colorado Eagles. So that's breaking news, and just wanted to throw that in there before we continue on the rest of the video. So with the lines, here's what I'm going with. I'm going with Landeskog, MacKinnon, and Rantanen. As the first line, I believe the first line is back. And then, obviously, the second line, Nichushkin, Kadri, and Burakovsky, they've been so deadly while the top line's been banged up. And then third line, I really, really like. You got Tyson Jost, Alex Newhook, and Logan O'Connor. Three young guys. I mean, Tyson Jost isn't super young, but three young guys. And, Tyson Jost is just, he's an underrated scorer, I believe, on this team. Alex Newhook is a young guy on this team who he's been pretty clutch these past few situations, scoring that game winner against Ottawa. He's been on fire, and Logan O'Connor's just all over the ice. He looks like a beast and probably the most underrated player on the Avalanche. And then our fourth line looks really good. We got Darren Helm, who's got elite speed, and he's a great skater. Jason Magna, who's a bit iffy on this line, hasn't scored one yet, hasn't been super great this season. And then the newest addition who we picked off of waivers is Nicholas Aube-Kubel. And, I do like this line. I think this is the healthiest we looked, and will be a very, very solid line. I love this line. And then our defense, I believe we have the best defense still in the league. Devon Taves and Cale Makar, top line. Sam Girard and Bowen Byram on the second line. They're both left-handed shots, but I have Byram playing on the right side because he's just so good. I think he can play off the right side even though he's a left-handed shot. And then Eric Johnson and Jack Johnson, except they need to be flipped. So let me make a cut here real quick. And boom, there we go. So Jack Johnson as the left-handed shot should be on the left side, and Eric Johnson as the right-handed shot should be on the right side. And I think our defense looks phenomenal. However, we can't really have any more injuries for defensemen go down because right now Ryan Murray is actually out indefinitely with an injury. I just found out, so we can't really have any more defensemen going down. Can't really afford it because I don't think Curtis McDermott is a great defenseman. I watched that Avalanche 360 special. Looks like a nice guy, but defensively, he's not that great. He's a big body who can lay hits, but not great defensively. Kind of like Zadorov, except I preferred Zadorov. But if, say, another injury does occur, I wouldn't mind if Jacob McDonald came up and played defense. Haven't seen him on defense this year. Or I wouldn't mind if our youngster from the 2020 draft, Justin Barron, came up and made the team. But that's neither here or there. This is the starting defense, and it looks really, really good. For the goaltenders, we got Darcy Kemper as the presumptive starter. Jonah Johansen is the backup. And Pavel Francouz I have on here is because he's starting to return from injury. So if when he returns from injury, he'll be the backup, and Johansen will be the third goaltender because I believe Bednar said that they would keep the 3 goaltenders, so Johansen avoids waivers. So I believe Francouz will be the backup when he's healthy, but right now it's Johansen while Francouz is still trying to recover from his injury. And then we move on to the Maple Leaf side. They have Ilya Mikheyev on IR. They have Peter Mrazek on IR, and then they have Andre Kasha on who's day-to-day and who could possibly play against the Avs on Wednesday, but we'll have to see pending his injury and if he makes the lineup. Because once again, this is being filmed on Monday, so the game is still 2 days away. So right now, the Maple Leafs forwards are looking like Michael Bunting, Austin Matthews, and Mitch Marner on the first line. They got Alexander Kerfoot, John Tavares, and William Nylander on the second line. On the third line, they have, it's Nick Ritchie, I believe, David Kampf, and Wayne Simmons. They have Kyle Clifford, Jason Spezza, and Pierre Engvall, I believe. I can never remember what's his name. Pierre Engvall. Yes, Pierre Engvall on the third line. And I'm not going to lie, this is a decent forward group. This is a very solid forward group, actually, that I feel competes with ours, even with McKinnon in the top line back. But we'll get to that here in a second on who I think is better during the predictions. The Maple Leafs defense is looking like Morgan Rielly, TJ Brody, Jake Muzzin, Justin Holl, Rasmus Sandin, and Travis Dermott. So I think that's a solid defense, but I mean, Morgan Rielly, one of the better defensemen in the league, so you can never sleep on him. Yeah. Then their goaltenders are Jack Campbell and Joseph Woll, obviously with Peter Mrazek being on IR. So the leading scorers for the Avalanche this far into the season is Nazem Kadri with 23 points. Then it's Gabriel Landeskog and Cale Makar with 20 points each. Mikko Rantanen with 18. Andre Burakovsky with 14. Devon Taves and Nathan MacKinnon with 10. And we have to remember, Nathan MacKinnon was out for the first few games because of COVID. And the Devon Taves was out in the beginning of the season because of off-season surgery. And he just got back recently. So it's still impressive that they're still up there, in my opinion. For the Maple Leafs, their leading scorers, John Tavares, their captain, with 22. William Nylander with 21. Austin Matthews with 19. Mitch Marner with 19 as well. Morgan Rielly, Alexander Kerfoot, and Michael Bunting all tied with 14 points this season. So it could be a high-scoring game depending on how the goaltenders play. And speaking of goaltenders, here's the stats. Darcy Kemper has a 2.84 goals against average, and he has a 903 save percentage, which, I do think he can get better at that because, once again, he struggled to start the season, so that's why the numbers are so low. I do think he's getting back up and picking up into the swing of things, so I believe he'll start getting better numbers as the season goes on. And Jonah Johansen has really played well this season. Aside from that one game that he blew, I believe. What game was it? I can't remember which game. Against the Blue Jackets, where he gave up a few goals late. He's been really solid. He has a 2.92 goals against average, which it could be a little lower, but he has a 911 save percentage and a 2-1-1 record, which is pretty solid, honestly. I mean, it's not the best, but it's not terrible in my opinion either. On the Maple Leafs side of things, they got Jack Campbell as their starter. He has a 1.64 goals against average, which is really good, and a 9.46 save percentage with a 12-4-1 record. So it might be a defensive battle with Jack Campbell. He's been rock solid this season, so I'm a little bit nervous to face him. So hopefully the boys can find a way to get some past him. And then their backup is Joseph Woll, who has a 1.67 save percentage. 1.67 goals against average and a 9.39 save percentage, and he has a 3.0 record, and he also has one shutout this season. So their goaltenders have been really, really solid. Hopefully, our forwards and defensemen can get pressure and just fire away and find a way to hit the back of the net. This is a big game. It is a interconference matchup, so we'll only face them one more time this season. So we have to make it count and win these games. It's not as important as an interconference game or an interdivision game, but it's still everyone's a win, and it's important to pick up 2 points when you can. So here is my favorite part of the show, Parker's predictions. I'm going to go over the forwards, the defense, the goaltenders, and the prediction on who has the advantage of each. And then I give my prediction at the end to see who I think will win this game. So forwards, like I said earlier, this is really, really close. Both the way the Avs second line has been playing with Nazem Kadri and the return of Nathan MacKinnon, I'm going to have to give it to the Avalanche because we are just so those first two lines are very, very solid with Landeskog, McKinnon, Rantanen, Nichushkin, Kadri, and Burakovsky. Phenomenal. And then you got young guys like Newhook, Logan O'Connor, and then Nicholas Aube-Kubel, who's been doing pretty solid after being picked up on waivers. So I do think that the forward advantage goes to the Avalanche. Then we go to the defense. And once again, like I said, like I've been saying all season, I think we have the best defense in the league. That could just be me being biased, but I truly believe that with Cale Makar, Bowen Byram, Samuel Girard, Devon Toews. I think those four are spectacular. I mean, Devon Toews, Cale Makar, Samuel Girard, Bowen Byram. Not to mention Eric Johnson, Jack Johnson, Ryan Murray when he's healthy. I think it is a very deep blue line and just something that is very solid. And not to mention their offensive defensemen, so they'll jump into the play to help score. And Cale Makar, just a generational talent. Like, he's so good. I think he's the best defenseman in the league already. And that could be me being biased, but I don't think so. I think that's a lot of sense from other fans, not just Avalanche fans. But, hey, what do I know? And then goaltenders, I'm going to have to go with the Maple Leafs on this one. With how rock solid Jack Campbell's been and Joseph Woll behind him, they've been solid all season. So I am a bit nervous to face that goaltender tandem. But I do believe if we can score, if our forwards and defense are dialed into the game, I believe that we can get a few pucks past them and score. And what do I expect this game? Well, I don't really expect a super defensive battle. With a team like ours, with the forwards and defense, I think we're gonna score like we've been doing all season. But I also expect them to score right back with their offensive threat of Austin Matthews, one of the best goal scorers, if not the best goal scorer in the league. So what's my prediction? I say the Avalanche win 4-3 in a very, very close matchup. I say we win in overtime. Makar, McKinnon, Logan O'Connor, and let's go with Byram. I'll pick up goals tonight. On the Leafs side, I'm saying Austin Matthews picks up 2 goals. And then the third goal is going to come from former Colorado Avalanche, Alexander Kerfoot. So that's my prediction. Let me know what you think in the comments. Again, the game is 2 days away as of recording this. I don't know when it will be posted. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out. Deuces.